It started with a bang. Well, it actually started with a whisper, but when the bang happened and the galaxy started looking for the problem, it was too late. By the time anyone figured out what was going on, a full 3% of the galaxy was gone, and we were all doomed. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My species, the Ignax, were the first to find the humans of Sol 3, about 2,000 years ago. The Galactic Empire at the time considered any species that was pre-FTL to be non-sentient. Their world free to conquer and harvest for material. Needless to say, my ancestors were salivating at the potential prize they uncovered. I only wish that I could go back and kick some sense into those fools. After about 10 years of invasion preparations and registering the planet with a G as a prize for the Ignax nation, my ancestors began to attack the humans. What the galaxy thought would be another quick and simple extermination of a local non-sentient species turned into a long and arduous 80-year war. The humans managed to bring down some of our attack craft and reverse-engineered their own versions of our weaponry and shields, somehow even improved on the design and effectiveness. Nevertheless, my ancestors were slowly winning the war, bit by bit. Sure, they killed 12 Ignax to every human killed, but our invasion force was constantly resupplied with fresh troops, while the humans only had what was on their homeworld. It was during the final month of the war that the whisper happened, and no one noticed for decades, until the first bang. Humans are inventive little, expletive. Closest translation. Afterbirth of diseased pest. During the last few years of the war, they managed to build what they called a last resort device in their intercepted messages. Using the improved stolen technology, they managed to build a single probe. The humans launched the probe, along with all their remaining nuclear weapons during that final month. The humans used the warheads as a distraction to get the probe cloaked and far enough away from our sensors, nuking the surface of their own world as a final middle finger to the galaxy. The sensor net we placed in the initial attack reported that something left the local orbit. But, to steal a saying from the humans, it would be like finding a needle in a solar system with all the radiation blinding the net. The higher-ups deemed the object as flotsam, just a bit of space junk, and immediately ignored it to concentrate on more important tasks. The fools. 30 years later, the first of the bangs happened. The binary star system closest to the Sol system went supernova at the same time. The event grabbed the attention of the stellar scientist in the Galactic Empire. The Proxima Alpha Centauri stars were thought to be unable to go supernova, and there was no indication from any of the science probes in the system that the stars were unstable. Less than a year later, Bernard star went supernova. Then Wolf 359. In the span of 10 years, the rate increased exponentially. All the stars within a 30 light-year radius of Sol became supernovae, regardless of the star's condition. The media started to call it the Sol phage, as the only star that seemed unaffected was Sol itself. The Galactic Empire ran the largest relocation effort at that time, clearing out a quarantine area of over 1,000 populated systems and setting up sensor nets that would hopefully act as an early warning system. The sensors only gave the Galactic Empire about 24 hours notice before the star would explode, wiping out any orbiting stellar bodies and leaving behind glowing gas and dust. A bounty was created for any information on why the Sol phage was happening and how to stop it, or at least slow it down. Millions of amateur scientists, researchers, explorers, and high school dropout equivalents scoured the rapidly expanding quarantine area for clues. It took 300 years and 3% of the galaxy gone before we literally hit the answer. One of the bounty hunter teams must have used all the remaining luck in the universe. The team impacted with an unmanned stealth probe in the ice rock debris belt, normally found on the edge of a solar system, about 250 light-years from Sol. They recovered the probe and brought it back for analysis. The results were not good. The probe was a 100 meters cylinder 25 meters in diameter with a set of rings on either end. The color was so black that it seemed to absorb the light from the laboratory. The scientist noted that the coating not only allowed the probe to act like a hole in space, but to also cover the hole up as if it wasn't there. Any energy that leaked from the probe was just slightly over the cosmic background radiation, making the device next to impossible to detect. We managed to crack open the probe and found it was equipped with a reactionless drive system that the Galactic Empire had theorized but ultimately thought impossible to create. A power source that used the Casimir effect to create nearly unlimited energy, again, something that we had thought impossible. A device that took up half the space inside, the scientist eventually named the phage. The impact caused the probe's memory banks to wipe and self-destruct, along with what seemed to be critical parts of the internals, but the scientist managed to figure out that probe had two main functions. First, it traveled to a nearby star and settled into the outer debris field, where it mined for resources to replicate itself using the phage. The humans had a term for this, a von Neumann probe. This explained the growth rate. The second function is what caused the soul phage. The probe would create a bomb of sorts, filled with some kind of exotic matter that our scientists still don't understand, 1500 years later. The bomb was sent into the star with a timer and would cause the star to eventually go supernova. This device came from another term of the humans. MAD. Mutually assured destruction. The scientist found a plaque in the probe and after translating the inscription based on the copied media from the humans' internet, sent widespread panic through the empire. That plaque is how we realized the galaxy was doomed. That plaque is why I'm telling you this story. The Galactic Empire is no more. The few remaining stars of our galaxy are on borrowed time. The last great hope we have is to send you in a sleeper ship to colonize the next galaxy. We hope that they programmed the probes to only stay within our galaxy, but with the humans' legacy and wrath, we're not sure. The plaque. Oh, right. Here are the words of our galaxy's doom. Who is retaliation? Generation. XXVII. For revenge is a dish best served cold. Author's name and link to original text is in the description.